Early alarm, cold coffee, I'm on a step before the sun. Phone full of numbers that used to be strangers, now they want what I become. Sketches on napkins, whole albums in my head when the city hum. Tell me I can't, I followed under fuel, turning doubt into a drum. I don't flex for the camera, I build while they chase the frame. Blueprints in a bulletproof jacket, the quiet moves loud and friends call me savage, I laugh, I'm just trying to close the gap. Buying time for tomorrow, stacking lessons, not just rap. I've been running for more than paper, feel it deep in my marrow. Skyline look different when the weight ain't so narrow. Can't fold under pressure, I press on, that's the motto. Made some losses, learn the math, now I'm trying to borrow tomorrow. Streetlights taught me currency, trust how quick it flips. Seen kitchens where the recipe was hustle, pots and broken tips. Jail visits, quiet prayers, counts on the wall that never lie. Bills in envelopes, dreams and nigga gotta improvise. I kept a list of who stayed through the winter and the drought. Some smiles were thin, some hands were thin, but held me proud. I learned to read between the laughter, way behind the joke. Trauma make a man religious, got me praying to my folk. Wheels changed to the same hands on the wheel I grew with. Windows up, memories loud, every scar got a truth with it. Money comes, it's a mirror, shows the lines that never fade. New household goals, got me thinking about the dues I paid. I pull up for the plug that fed my first beat, keep it real. Celebrate with a toast of balance, not just bottles and a grill. The fame whispering pretty lies, I've been immune to that glitter. Success feels sweeter when it played on the tables for more than one sitter. Ain't it funny how the skyline changed the way we breathe? Used to want a shoulder to lean on, now I just want relief. Counting blessings in the rear view, but I still chase the peak. If I'm coming for a reason, let it be the people I keep. Loyalty ain't a statement, it's quiet when the cameras leave. Sitting with the ones who know your worst and still believe. We split the last lies, keep it equal, keep it honest, keep it tight. I don't trust applause, I test the ones who stick around tonight. Guys I grew with, some left tracks in different cities, different fights. We send checks, not just texts, that's how we measure right. If you ride, I ride, if you fall, I catch, that's the code. But snakes smooth and designer, can't let them near the low. Late night on the rooftop, thinking about the kids in the wheel. What I build is bigger than the chain, it's lessons I instill. I wanna lead them options that I never had as a kid. Not just money, but the courage to speak truth, stay hid. Therapy for the scars, therapy for the ego too, yeah. Learn to apologize to myself for the things I didn't do, yeah. Legacy ain't just plaques, it's how the people move when I'm gone. Planting seeds while I'm living so the garden grows when I'm strong. I keep walking past the corners where our plans is all in rain. Streetlight goes tracing outlines of a name you don't say no more. Wallet full of receipts for days I thought I couldn't change. Hands cold from carrying credit for someone else's war. I talk to a ceiling fan like it's a preacher trying to cool my head. Counting breaths like they trading comfort for another cigarette. There's a bruise under my laugh that only the night can read. And I move like I'm holding light, but I'm mostly just avoiding the dark. This ache ain't traumatic, it just folds me slow like paper. Creases map the routes I take when courage turns to vapor. I stitch my scenes with honest words and reckless hope. Walking through the static, learning how to cope. Late nights I stack the losses like receipts no one will refund. Pocket linen, no apologies, signatures from people gone. Mama said keep your head, Papa said don't trust the sun. So I learned to make my own one from city lights at dawn. Trust is a currency, I spent too fast on upside promises. Now the pocket's empty, but the lesson's heavy when I promise less. I try to drown the hits with bass and cheaper thrills, but the quiet found me anyway, whispering in voices in my still. Bruises bloom in slow motion like slow-mo film in my chest. I memorize the shadows, try to fold them into my best. Pain writes an invisible ink on the ledger of my days. I'm learning to translate the loss into less of a maze. They told me hustle pays, but it drove my soul in interest. Every handshake got a clause, every smile had a rent. I learned to sound like steel but feel like thrifted cotton. Soft in the scenes where life keeps testing what I'm not. I kept a list of names who left when the lights flicker low. And another list of things I sold just to stay afloat. Fame put a mirror in my room, fame made the mirror louder. Now I'm arguing with reflections like a man who lost his power. Sometimes I ever sleep. Sometimes I bottle with a verse, get the cut and cash the beat. There are nights I replay apologies I never meant to give, and mornings when the silence gives me more reasons to live. My chest is a map of small fights, of quiet compromises. I fold the map in half, keep the lines as my disguises. This mirror's honest, even when the camera lies. It shows the tiny cracks where resilience tries to rise. I say sorry to myself for every time I let the cold in, every time I banked on someone else's wind to blow me home again. I practice saying no, sometimes to protect, sometimes to mend. Learn that heal scenes can still hold, even if they're not pretend. There's a weight that lives in my jaw when I decide to speak, but words are muscle, now they bend, don't exactly break. I plant seeds in cracks, roots hungry for a better sun. They push through concrete promises that told them they were done. My scars are not trophies, they're topography, a map of work. Guides for the future me, so we won't trip where the past lurks. I move steady, not because the pain left, because I learned to shape how to fold it in a armor that doesn't cut into my fate. If sorrow is a teacher, I'm the student who takes notes and walks home, carrying the grade of every lesson in the pockets of my coat. So I keep pressing forward with my palms full of yesterday, counting wins and breath and measuring miles by the way I stay. No grand reveal, no miracle, just slow rearrange and gain. I'm not cured, just less afraid to say the word and hold the pain.
Used to count quarters, now I'm counting commas in my head. Paper stack but pain stay, pockets heavy so thin thread. Friends move different once the coupe glossy chrome. Trust is scarce, loyalty's cheap when the fever's on. I keep a quiet circle, let the city play my soundtrack. Sleepless thoughts in the backseat, can't let the past come back. I pray for bigger blessings, but I wrestle with the fear. Success don't fix the silence, it just brings a different mirror. I got demons in the coupe and angels on my shoulder. Money on my mind, but the nights still feel colder. I'm chasing what they sell, but I'm losing what I know. Eyes on the summer, but my heart moves slow. I got demons in the coupe and angels on my shoulder. Money on my mind, but the nights still feel colder.
Ambition got me restless, blueprint in the palm. Latex from old faces, saying they wanna come. They don't know how many nights I sacrificed to last. Turn my pain into a ledger, put my scars up on the graph. Deals on Sunday, prayers at midnight in the stairwell. Promise me the moon, but the ledger keeps a real tale. I see a rise and shift, but I keep the same set of rules. Hunger in my chest, ain't playing by no other tool.
I ride waves up, promise try not to drown in the show. Got ghosts in the crowd, but I still put on my coat. We built from the gutter, now we gamble with the glow. Loyalty's the currency that ain't for sale, you know. I ride waves up, promise try not to drown in the show. Got ghosts in the crowd, but I still put on my coat. Success tastes sweet, but bitter's in the back of the throat. Checks clear, but empathy still learning how to flow. Model life on the gram, but my reflection different. Soup is good, but my conscience ain't finished. I buy my people dinners, keep a room for the real. Seen them switch for status, seen them duck when it gets real. Celebrate the wins in the studio and in my head. Pop bottles for the nights when I could barely make the bed. Loyalty's a tattoo, not a trend you pick and pass. My crew rock weather roads, not the filtered glass. We share the low wages, share the dreams on the street lamp. Signatures on the same page, scars map where we can. I don't promise forever, I promise today and work. If you ride with me through the drought, you share the perks. Trust is built in silence in the favors that you keep. We never sleep on each other, even when the bills run deep. Reflection in the mirror, lines that money didn't buy. Counting out the lessons, not the reasons why I fly. I write it here to ache, not just flex another win. Every lyric's therapy, inks a map back to begin. I still worry about tomorrow, still pray about the past. Chasing ghosts of what I wanted, trying to make this moment last. If I lose it all tomorrow, let them say I tried and fought. Build my life on honest sweat, not just the things I bought. I've been counting commas while the city keeps in the sleep. Phone blowing up, what goes from another teacher, still hard to keep. Studio smelling like success and no regrets. I put your time on the line, put my heart with a big set. Used to flip joints and borrow cars, dreams bigger than the top. Now I read contracts on my name, watching clocks, ticking stars. Ambition in my pockets, worry in my range. I trade sleep for a pain, train fame for a lane. I came from nothing, they forget how I felt. Swallow money, they remind me what I do. Count the blessings, count the losses, hold my key tight. If he down when I'm down, we gon' song this breath. Yeah, mama never asked for fame, she just run a steady grade. But I was chasing baby checks while loneliness crept in my bed. Friends switched, life better. Smile said denials. I lend trust costs money, loyalty costs lives. I put these door on the bang, braid on the faded couch. Signed deals with my heart be swallowed proud. Took the route, straight lessons taught me cold. Ghosts taught me finesse. Now I juggle both worlds, keep my heart out of the stress. Fake calls, cheap thrills, I don't fall for the gloss. We recognize blood, fate, you recognize cause. Rising from the trenches, keep my circle close, we're riding. We don't chase clout, we chase peace, trying to make it through the night. Money gold is name, yeah, exchanges out of that. But the ones that stay true, hold my name down and back. Used to staple one eye open, now the roof are different. Penthouse dream of concrete roofs, uncommitted. Been famous broken bills, taught me how to budget low. Now I spend on tomorrow, but I never forget where I'm from. Flashing cars, quiet Guinness, loyalty over champagne. Every win got a cost, every smile came with pain. I send texts to the fame, I send praise to the loss. I celebrate small victories, praise to the cross. I'm building up the next seat, I just flex to the band. Teach the kids how to stand, I just had a plan. Investment over inflows, ways to move out. I write history and verse, keep the streets in my tight. Enemies on camera roll, friend of my line. I'm moving silence, mosey, let the scoreboard define. Ambition ain't a curse, when it's tied to a cause. I hustle with a purpose, breaking generational laws. Sometimes I still wake up, from my chest feel it sore. Memories of the old block, echoes from the floor. I meditate on prophets, apologize to the past. Forgive myself for choices, learning love to last. If I make it, yo, say hands back up where I started. If I fall, I want it on the battle, then the party. Loyalty's a currency, a trade in low. Success is sweet, I'm in the shade, that's the code I know. Count the nights that I lost sleep, count the things I stayed home. When the world try to knock it down, read the rise or crumble. I choose drives, I choose key to real my nail. Don't glitter over bridge, just the truth in my head. Lace fade, be slow, I'm still here with the plan. Fade the dredge and late call, still a T with a brand. If I leave a name, they mean love and brand. In my story with mine, we were hungry, we survived. I keep walking past the corners where our plans is all in rain. Street light goes tracing outlines of a name you don't say no more. Wallet full of receipts for days I thought I couldn't change. Hands cold from carrying credit for someone else's war. I talk to a ceiling fan like it's a preacher trying to cool my head. Counting breaths like they trading comfort for another cigarette. There's a bruise under my laugh that only the night can read. And I move like I'm holding light, but I'm mostly just avoiding the dark. This ache ain't dramatic, it just folds me slow like paper. Creases map the routes I take when courage turns to vapor. I stitch my scenes with honest words and reckless hope. Walking through the static, learning how to cope. Late nights I stack the losses like receipts no one will refund. Pocket linen, no apologies, signatures from people gone. Mama said keep your head, Papa said don't trust the sun. So I learned to make my own one from city lights
lights at dawn. Trust is a currency, I spent too fast on upside promises. Now the pocket's empty, but the lesson's heavy when I promise less. I try to drown the hits with bass and cheaper thrills, but the quiet found me anyway, whispering invoices in my still. Bruises bloom in slow motion like slow-mo film in my chest. I memorize the shadows, try to fold them into my best. Pain writes an invisible ink on the ledger of my days. I'm learning to translate the loss into less of a maze. They told me hustle pays, but it drove my soul in interest. Every handshake got a clause, every smile had a rent. I learned to sound like steel but feel like thrifted cotton. Soft in the scenes where life keeps testing what I'm not. I kept a list of names who left when the lights flicker low, and another list of things I sold just to stay afloat. Fame put a mirror in my room, fame made the mirror louder. Now I'm arguing with reflections like a man who lost his power. Sometimes I barter with my ghost, trade regret for sleep. Sometimes I barter with a verse, keep the cut and cash the beat. There are nights I replay apologies I never meant to give, and mornings when the silence gives me more reasons to live. My chest is a map of small fights, of quiet compromises. I fold the map in half, keep the lines as my disguises. This mirror's honest, even when the camera lies. It shows the tiny cracks where resilience tries to rise. I say sorry to myself for every time I let the cold in, every time I banked on someone else's wind to blow me home again. I practice saying no sometimes to protect, sometimes to mend. Learn that heel scenes can still hold, even if they're not pretend. There's a weight that lives in my jaw when I decide to speak, but words are muscle, now they bend, don't exactly break. I plant seeds in cracks, roots hungry for a better sun. They push through concrete promises that told them they were done. My scars are not trophies, they're topography, a map of work. Guides for the future me, so we won't trip where the past lurks. I move steady, not because the pain left, because I learned to shape how to fold it in a armor that doesn't cut into my fate. If sorrow is a teacher, I'm the student who takes notes and walks home, carrying the grade of every lesson in the pockets of my coat. So I keep pressing forward with my palms full of yesterday, counting wins and breath and measuring miles by the way I stay. No grand reveal, no miracle, just slow rearrange and gain. I'm not cured, just less afraid to say the word and hold the pain. Each morning I count how many quiet breaths the house can hold. Coffee cools in a chip mug like promises we never sold. Mama folds her taxes with a hymn trapped behind the tea. Paper cranes from late night prayers we bend but don't release. I watch my reflection learn the shape of someone else's name, putting up the same defenses, wearing walls like family chains. The baby picture on the mantle laughs with one broken tooth, and I keep telling myself the truth like truth's a proof of you. Lights flicker over license plates and mama's old brass bell. We barter time for coverings, learn to live inside a shell. We keep the light on for each other, even when the fuse is thin. Hold the night like currency, trading heartbeats for a win. Family ain't just bloodline, it's the seat beside your sin. It's the song you barely sing until you hear it from within. My brother learned to swing a hammer before he knew how to cry. Scars on his knuckles read the stories he won't verbalize. We fought over pennies, later we argued over remote control. Now we call it 3 a.m. He tells me he's scared of getting old. He says remember that one summer when we stole the neighbor's cat. I can see the ghost of us in the taillight of a faded Cadillac. We keep receipts of apologies, fold them tight in denim pockets. Sometimes forgiveness shows up late with linen expired locket. Their names I hold like talismans, some I drop like heavy coats, carving out space for better things between the vowels and no's. We build altars from the smallest things, a casserole, a song. We learn to speak in small allowances where right means wrong. Family is a map of edges where you bruise and where you land. It's the compass that keeps spinning, even when it slips from your hand. Found a letter from granddad inside a shoebox under bills. Ink like river sediment, the handwriting kept his hills. He wrote about the river crossing, about the bridge that caught his fear, about the woman who stayed patient, how she made him stay near. He drew a crooked smile beside the tally of his debts, left directions on how to plant tomatoes and how to cope with threats. Legacy ain't doctrine, it's a mixtape of small routines. Nights we didn't talk and times we learned to thank the scene. Tonight I hum the lullaby my mama mama used to hum so soft. My kid falls asleep like city lights, surrendering the law. I count my payroll like a rosary, each beat a quiet debt. Promises between the couch cushion, the things I won't forget. I teach him how to tie his shoes and how to hide his anger slow. How to ask for help when streets get loud and roots begin to show. I tell him pride is useful only when it keeps you kind. That courage is the patience of a man who learned to mind. There are dinners where the silence says more than the prayer, and funerals where laughter blooms like heat wave and dry air. We balance fear with favors, hand-me-downs with brand new plans. And every argument's a currency that buys us back a chance. At the corner store, I trade small change for a second chance. Stand in line behind grandchildren of the men who taught me stance. I see my father's posture in the way I hold my phone. He typed his love in action, not the kind you hang in frames at home. Keep patching up the closet where our shame used to live. Stitched with elbow grease and sorry notes my mama wouldn't give. So I take the coat he left me, wear it out until it's thin. Learn to be the kind of presence that forgives itself from sin. We are the room of mismatched chair, the quilt with different threads. We are the stubborn prayers that does the dreams we tuck in bed. Some nights we feel at being saints, but still we show the light. Family's a stubborn lighthouse. You keep steady through the night.
Cold kill, cold fortune. I've been folding paper in the things. Hey, latex, old friends, those that still I'm building with these hands. Hey, ambition like a fever. Hobby ain't the metronomes. Counting losses of tuition, taught me how to buy my home. I move by corporate pockets, drain on a better gate. Cost I'm so stuck in traffic, thinking about the price to pay. Dreams save you like a plane, swinging over bus scenes. I don't chase validation, just the echo of my dream. I wanna touch the style, I need a dot in review. Ghost all the days we hustle, cheers, do stay true. Feeling weighted, feeling like the stars, they're like tattoos. I will meet the phase of fame, I need a few like you. Used to couch surf, all place, now the table by my lane. The success in LA where it got me whispering in my lane. Cheeks clear but getting me, still chasing mama's broad. In the mirror, show the stranger, learning how to stand tall. Rattle with my crutches, sometimes silence is a war. Seeking with the silly fans, counting blessings on the floor. I pray less to be forgiven, more to find some inner peace. Therapy and melodies, let your pen scrolls get released. Like nights in the studio, pouring truth into the sound. Every verse a confession, every hook a homebound. I keep faking faded teens in the city that raised me. Loyalty ain't on the label, it's the ones that stay with me. Bro told me don't forget him when the sun start chasing us. I got a list of promises folded tight like paper trutters. Loyalty is currency, I spend it how I live. Put my name on shoulders of the folk that helped me give. A couple brothers caught some heat, I caught them through the storm. Said the roof split your fool, now we trading different phones. I owe them more than trophies, more than gold. And flight still was on a late call, not just a spotlight. I wanna touch the skyline, lead a dot in review. Toast for every steep, this thing that taught a kid to choose. Feeling lighter with my people, keep it sober, smart and true. Ride with me through lows and highs. It's fuck around, walking Razzie in my periphery, but they don't know my nights. I ride into the morning, till the paint turns into lights. No shows, no money, same old hunger in my chest. Designer wrist of my identities, just a stitch in the quays. I flake for the kids who look like me and think they can. Some bad is that we built from broken doors and chance. The button checks the gram, pain, let's keep the table filled. Know my peers and every courage not to go side kill. Sometimes I answer they for life calls me to confess. I keep receipts of broke, lessons get the silent stretch. Promise me when I'm gone, don't let the story get replaced. I remember nights we almost crashed, but never lost a faith. I've been taking losses like a taste, learning what to sacrifice. Pain and teaching math, profit comes a different price. I keep a few vices, yeah, but breaking changes my main name. No, I'm chasing high glory, I just run a brighty name. Offers louder than my feeling, I stay push, stay play on my price for every rest and start deck I know. Each for time, and to see the faults we build again, that's how we stay alive. Ambition, love, and loyalty, the reasons that you strive. I only touch the skyline, not the vanishing on you. Wait to bring back life for those who never saw it do. Keep my circle where the chest to let the false friends fade away. We survive our provenance by the promises we made it.
When silence hangs low over the block, I step light like a promise. Feet remembering the rhythm of rent. Ration, respect, all in sequence. Coffee, steam, sketches, plans on the window, I read them slow. Paper trailer, small moves, a hand-shook deal, a corrective flow. Neighbors sleep with their phones on, dreams lie but shallow. I trade noise for notes, compound interest in the marrow. No sirens in my script, just calendars and patient math. Counting minutes like investments, walking steady down my path. I move like water, calm and patient, carving waves without a shout. Quiet pockets full of reasons, letting fear fall out. Hustle is a soft instrument, tune to measure breath. Build a house of quiet winds, still the silence holds my wealth. Sun cuts the blinds, it write checks and dust on the sill. I answer with a checklist, not with chaos, with a will. Phone rings, it's another offer dressed up in urgency. I fold it into two piles, honest and a melody. There's pride in slow returns and cleaning up the ledger.